You're not marrying him. Like, you're going to go off, you're going to have that baby, you're going to come back, and we're going to tell everyone how you were off studying and stuff. Hey, welcome to my channel. If this is your first time, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I drop book reviews every week, about twice a week. I want to say now, by the time you guys see this, I'm dropping them on Mondays and Thursdays at 8 or 9 a.m. So, this book is a short story. I read it with Kindle Unlimited. I am a Kindle Unlimited hoochie. I need to get me a shirt that says that. Um, Kindle Unlimited hoochie. Because when I say I'm reading a book, if it's on Kindle Unlimited, like, I'm definitely more apt to read it. Now, if it's an author that I've already read before, I'll go ahead and spend a couple dollars on a book. Like, if it's an ebook, I definitely will. Or if it's an author that, like, I really go hard for, I'll even go to Barnes and Nobles or even order it off of Amazon for, my cap is probably like $20 for a book. I have to really, really rock with the author. Point is, I read this book. It is titled Fallen Grace. Is part of the Blaze collection, and it is by Sadeqa Johnson. This book is a part of that like Kindle Unlimited read and listen to, where you can like listen to the audio book because it's on Kindle Unlimited or whatever. The book came out February 22nd of 2024. It is 50 pages. I saw that it was ranked like in the top 100 in the Black and African American historical fiction. This book here is set in a earlier time period. So the book blurb is: a single mother in segregated Virginia pushes back on societal prejudice and her own family's judgment in an emotionally powerful short story by New York Times bestselling author Sadeqa Johnson. With a newborn in tow, Bubbles Jones escapes a brutal sanctuary for wayward girls to confront the hypocritical shame of her pastor father and the betrayal of a lover. But Bubbles is accompanied by a woman who offers her shelter and a dream. Forging an unpredictable path ahead, Bubbles will not yield and will not hide in her unwavering commitment to make a big life real in a world determined to keep her small. This book, ooh, I think the narrator did such a good job at capturing all of the emotions and the feelings. They did absolutely amazing with that. So it was already, I knew I was going to finish this book. I knew I was going to finish it the first day because the narrator, they did what they were supposed to do. Now, for context, this book is set in Washington, D.C. in January of 1950. So obviously, times were very different. Bubbles, her father was a pastor. She got pregnant. And the reason, why she's been sent off is her family wants to kind of sort of make it seem like she's doing some internship for the government. And we just, she's off studying this and that. You know how, like, back in the day, like, how it was like a hidden thing that you got pregnant, and if the baby stayed in the family, like, it was on some like, oh, this is our daughter we had while we were vacationing in Italy and this and that, and whole time like it's really their grandchild. This is definitely the situation, but they send Bubbles off to go live with these nuns, and these nuns are brutal as hell. Like, when I say they work them from sun up to sundown, they don't care how pregnant you are. You're gonna pay for your sins of getting pregnant, and they're gonna work you hard, okay? And Bubbles, she wants to keep her baby, because what the nuns are doing is they take the baby after, adopt the baby out, and then you still have to pay off like your keep, like your room and board, basically. Like, you have to pay off your stay. But there's women there that are, they want to leave. Like, they don't want to be there. A lot of them didn't even want to give up their baby. Like, it was something that they had to do. So Bubble strikes up this plan of she's going to sneak out with another one of the women that is there. And her name is Gertrude. They call her Gertie. Bubbles and Gertie are trying the best they can to sneak out, because Bubbles just snuck and had her baby like in the attic or whatever, and she's trying to be super quiet. She's trying to make sure that she's not stepping on these stairs a certain way to wake up the nuns, because they know they will literally get beat, and potentially like the police called on them if they sit here and sneak out with this baby. So the nuns don't even know that she's had her baby yet. So she's talking about having like these rags between her legs and like bleeding and like trying to climb out the window and trying to escape. And trying to walk fast to be able to get away fast while also bleeding and just having had that baby. Anyone who's had has given birth to a child, you first of all, you are in so much pain those first couple of days. I don't care if you've gotten an epidural. I don't care if you're on so much medication that you feel like you're in as least amount. You're in pain regardless. Unless you're like God's favorite and you didn't have like heavy bleeding and stuff, that is a lot going on to be trying to escape from somewhere and trying not to bleed all over the place. She's literally like bleeding on rags. They had to steal rags out of the like the clothing room or whatever. There were no pads in that day and time. Like there weren't, they're just, you were literally on the rag. Okay. So her baby father, Ray, is 8 years her senior. He was a janitor at the school that she was attending in high school. So homegirl is like 18, 19, I want to say, years old. She's not super old or whatever. But he done promised her like, yeah, like I can marry you and this and that. But her parents were not going for it because they're like, he's older than you. Like, no, you're not marrying him. Like, you're going to go off. You're going to have that baby. You're going to come back. And we're going to tell everyone how you were off studying and stuff. Gertrude's job was to call both Ray and her brother and to make sure, basically they would be there at midnight to meet up with them because they are footing it. And it's cold as hell. Like they're talking about having that winter breeze blowing on them. It's bad. And to be carrying a newborn baby, like the baby's kind of crying and stuff, like the baby's needing milk, like they're not even dressed appropriately because they literally snuck out like in their house gowns. So they're not, it's not like they're out with winter coats sneaking out and stuff. This is the 1950s. So they're sitting there waiting. A half hour has gone by. Ray, Bubbles' baby father, is nowhere to be found. And she keeps trying to reason with herself like, it's that he's coming. He's coming. He's definitely coming. He'll be here soon. He's coming. And it becomes bless me, it becomes so apparent he didn't come for whatever reason. So now Gertrude's brother shows up. Dude is racist, kind of, sort of, as hell. I think this was also in a time period where I feel like I'm about to sneeze again. I feel like this was in a time period where coloreds, as they're called in the book, coloreds and white people were not supposed to be in the same like it just wasn't supposed to be mixed in any way, shape, or form. So her family has even advised her, like Bubbles' family has always told her, like, you're not even supposed to be getting in the vehicle with white people because bad things can happen. And there's a part where she's talking about a woman named Millie and what happened to Millie. So it is like a trigger warning for this one little part here. If you're someone that really doesn't want to see the mention of like SA and things like that, or like grape, whatever, it literally says that, Millie has been raped by 5 white men, passed between them like a plaything along with a flask of corn liquor. When Millie's husband tried to save her, the white men strung him up in a tree, leaving his body on view for all to see. Bubbles knew what she could be subjecting herself to, but she was a mother now, so she could no longer feel her fingers, and she was worried she might drop the crying baby. I'm just like, goodness gracious. We really had a time period where people couldn't even stand up for themselves. They couldn't even stand up for what they felt was right. You could not try to defend your wife's honor because you could literally end up getting hung for it. You could get lynched for it. So Bubbles is not really wanting to get into the car with Gertrude's brother. And she also knows that Gertrude kind of sees her a little bit as dead weight. And she's kind of like, if I don't get out my stuff, Gertrude might leave me behind. Like, she might leave me and my baby out in the cold. So it becomes, okay, let's go ahead. Let's go pull up to Ray's house. Y'all, Ray was a two-timing dog. I'm not going to give any spoilers away of what happens when she pops up at Ray's house. Hi. But it just was bad. It was so bad. She pops up at his house, and the person who answered the door, super unexpected. Super unexpected. And I feel like it was embarrassing for her because She just went on this whole trek after having this baby. And, bruh, to find out that your baby father had no intentions on making the promises he made to you come into fruition, that was one hell of a wake up call for her. So I felt so bad for her. But highly recommend reading this book. Like I said, it is a quick read. If you're into audiobooks or trying to get more into audiobooks, I highly recommend reading this book. I'm about 90% sure. Let me double check before I say something to be wrong. But I'm 90% sure this book was by a Black author. Um, Let me see. It was. So let me see. So this author is the best-selling author of 5 novels, including the Reese's Book Club pick, The House of Eve. Her accolades include the 2022 Hurston Wright Foundation Legacy finalist, a BCALA Literary Honoree, the Library of Virginia's Literary People's Choice Award, and the Phyllis Wheatley Book Award. So she's originally from Philadelphia. She currently lives near Richmond, Virginia, with her husband and 3 teens. This book was good. It was super good. I feel like I am super hot. The heat is like way too high. I don't even know. But thank you so much for coming and supporting me. I'm rocking my books on my shirt today. Y'all, I'm proud of myself. I got my little French Allsbrooks up here. Authors of 30 plus books. I am working on so many different books. By the time you guys see this book review, My Favorite Ex is free with Amazon. It's free on Kobo. It's free with Barnes and Nobles. I almost said Apple, but that book actually is not on Apple yet. I'm considering putting it on Apple. So let me know what you guys think, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.